Here, listen to this. Can you guess which troops deploy sound that is? Well, of course you can. That's the mini P.E.K.K.A. Now let's try a harder one. That one was the knight. Great job. Whoa. Alright, now let's go 3 back to back. This is the final one.
Yay.
Did you get them all? What you just heard was a princess, a log, and a goblin barrel. Those of you more familiar with the game might even recognize it as specifically a princess at the bridge, a log to counter the princess, and a goblin barrel sent out now that the log has been baited. Now, Clash Royale is a fantastic game that I love dearly. Say what you want about how Supercell has decided to monetize it, the game itself has a lot of heart, and nothing to me shows this more than the sound design. Every card has a really distinct sound to it that breathes life into these cards when you deploy them. I have no idea if it's intentional or not, but I love that there's like a 1 in 5 chance that when the Royal Giant is deployed, they just don't play the fanfare for him. It gives the impression that those blowing his fanfare don't do it out of respect, but rather because they were probably just told to do it, so sometimes they forget because they don't care enough. This paints the Royal Giant at an angle that shows he's probably not very nice to his subjects and is probably a bit full of himself, which is reflected really well in his card art too. I can't tell you how disappointed I was when they changed how the mini P.E.K.K.A's hit sound worked. This is something I doubt anyone else on the planet realized when it happened, but when the mini P.E.K.K.A hits something and makes this sound. We all know this, most of us all too well. But years ago, before a certain update, I can't remember quite which one, but it was a big one, I think it might have been level 15, but they changed how the sound triggers. If the mini P.E.K.K.A hit something for full damage, like on a princess tower or a giant, it would make the sound like normal. But if it hit something with low enough health so that it wouldn't take the full damage of the hit, it would sound like this. I thought this was such a cool little detail. It made the mini P.E.K.K.A sound so harmless when being eaten alive by a Skarmy, but so powerful when mowing down a golem. If you play your mini P.E.K.K.A right, then it sounds like you played your mini P.E.K.K.A right. But that's not the case anymore. Watch this. Now it just makes the full power sound regardless of what it's hitting. This incident was the first that made me start to think maybe they really don't care about their game anymore. I know it's such a minute detail, but the fact something I really liked and appreciated was removed so suddenly and for no apparent reason stuck with me. Like if they removed the chance for the RG's fanfare not to go off, I would understand, since it does slightly affect gameplay if you aren't paying attention, but this one had literally no reason to be removed. Okay, so Oscar from the future here. So I know I said there's like a 1 in 5 chance for the RG's fanfare not to go off, but when I was writing the script, I didn't actually know. It just felt like 1 in 5 from what I remembered. I figured I'd get a better estimate once I actually went into a training game with Liam and counted how many times the RG's fanfare didn't go off. But what I found is that the RG's fanfare actually never goes off. If the opponent plays an RG, it's not going to play a fanfare unless it's evolved. But like that's whatever. Like how long has this been happening? Like it's so weird. We even tried changing it to Royal Arena to see if that would change anything, but no, he just never makes the sound ever unless you're the one playing him. If you're the one playing the RG, he makes the fanfare. If the opponent does, he never plays the fanfare. But again, it's just something I've never seen brought up, so I just thought I'd mention it here. It's weird. I don't want to have to rewrite the whole script, but if anybody knows if this is intentional, I'd love to know. From then on, I started to notice other little things, like the Goblin Giant star skin just randomly detaching itself if it's frozen or stunned in any way. Like they must have fired the team that does the star skins or something, because surely someone would have fixed it by now. Other small things, like the more options menu in the settings, just not being centered correctly, which is kind of funny. Or this one Night Witch emote being way bigger than the others in the preview, but when animated they all become the same size. Yes, this matters to me. None of these are criminal offenses by any means, but come on guys, I hate to say it, but this game is just unpolished. But this video isn't about the game being unpolished. It's about AI. For the longest time, AI wasn't even on my mind. Completely outside my radar. I mean, sure, this game is a mess at times, but surely they wouldn't stoop that low. Until the Boost Fields event, that is. Look at this behemoth. Everything is the wrong size, the wrong height, and it has absolutely nothing to do with Boost Fields. To me, this was undoubtedly, undeniably AI generated, and I won't stand for anyone saying otherwise. So what's the point? Well, AI art is my point. AI art generation is an interesting topic. There's a lot to be discussed about the ethics of its creation and whether or not it has a place in the art sphere, with pretty compelling arguments from both sides. Here's my 2 cents on the situation. AI art is art generated by AI art generators. You type your prompt into a little text box and it interprets your words into a piece of art. Pretty simple stuff. Ask anyone who is somewhat proficient in using these generators and they'll tell you it's not as easy as it may seem though. Finding the right prompts to generate a great image is something which takes a lot of experience to master. And you need a great creative vision on top of it all if you want to create something that is true, genuine art. Not to mention AI art generation can only get you so far with today's technology. More often than not, after generating an image, it'll need a lot of editing done to smooth out the rough edges, which can take a lot of time to complete. Contrary to popular belief, AI art generation is not as simple as just typing out a single sentence and then posting it on Twitter.x, the everything app. That being said, I don't think anyone is arguing that it's tougher than actually just whipping out a drawing tablet and drawing the image yourself on Clip Studio Paint, but that's not really my point. I just wanted to paint a fair, unbiased image in your head of what goes through AI art generation before I tell you that I fucking hate AI art. But explaining why I hate it is kind of tricky. It's not because it's lazy, which it kind of is, or because the generators feed themselves by stealing art non-consensually, which they kind of do, or even because it takes artists' jobs in an already cutthroat industry, which it definitely does, but rather for more personal reasons. Two mainly. Reason A: it looks ass. Maybe not from an objective lens, but if I can recognize it as AI, you've already done your job poorly. And reason B: where's the heart? This point is a lot harder to voice and is largely the reason why I opened the video with that tidbit about how much I appreciate those little bits of audio design in the game. But small things like that clip of the goblin being shoved into the cannon while enjoying it a bit too much, or this goblin in the background about to push the other one off the platform, or this goblin giant absolutely hitting that shit. God damn, I didn't know my boy had it in him. Basically, if art becomes mostly AI generated, there will be no more goblins. Wait, Loki, that might be a shout. Look, I'm not a super artsy guy who thinks that true art can only come from artist intentions and the dance of interpretation you have with the art piece or whatever. That being said, I view AI art much as I view AI chatbots. What's the point? You can spend your whole day chatting with your Snapchat bot, but other than acquiring some questionably accurate information about, I don't know, El Dorado, you might as well have spent the day talking to a brick wall. And I'm not looking at the art directly thinking, damn, generating this image was probably really harmful to the environment either. I'm looking at these images and I'm thinking, ew. And in the case where I don't recognize it as AI until later, I'm looking at it and thinking, oh man, really? Fuck's sake. It's impulse, man. I don't know how else to describe it. It either looks like ass, or if it doesn't look like ass, it tastes like shit. End of tangent. Sorry about that. If you like AI art, more power to you, but I could personally do with seeing it a lot less in my life. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why I decided to embark on this journey through the Supercell FanKit, which you can actually check out yourself. It's not just for creators. Link in the description. With the goal of drumming up as much AI-assisted art as I could find, because I needed to know just how deep this well runs. And since identifying this sort of stuff is very interpretation based, I brought Liam along with me, but I needed to get him up to snuff on AI, so here's the clip of me training him. Alright, Liam, first I want you to look at this. Do you think this is AI?
I think so, because
You think so?
the left shoulder, like he's coming out of the side of the shell and the exit changes shape, you know, like his shoulders can be lower down, and also it's very spherical.
Very good. You get a passing mark.
Okay, it's like he's sticking out of his shoulder.
Yeah, you want to comment on what he's lying on?
Yeah, that's just that's a futuristic bet. It looks good enough to me.
Alright, now, given the context in which I'm currently showing you this image, do you think this one is AI or not?
This one, oh, this one's hard. The line art, I'm looking for inconsistency in the line. I don't know if that's a thing, but I don't know. I don't think that's AI, but it could be AI copying someone's art. Give me a sec. Let me think. That's AI. Look at the thighs. That's AI.
What?
Those are AI thighs. All the AI. That's how they all draw them.
How would you know that?
So is it AI or not?
Okay, it is AI.
I'm a genius.
So the first image, it just looks like it's AI. You can see where it tries to start the shell and then it just gets confused and starts a mosaic.
Yeah.
But with the Miku cat, you gotta look a little bit deeper to find what makes it AI.
What makes this AI? How did you know this was AI?
I know this was AI? Because the Twitter replies told me.
Oh, okay. Would you have thought this was AI?
I would have seen this and not thought it was AI. Even when you zoom all the way in, it still looks perfectly fine and pretty expertly crafted. But that in itself is its biggest giveaway. If you look at the tail for a moment, you see how it's visible on her right and then turns and raises itself on her left?
Yeah, I see. So maybe she has a really long tail, but yeah, I see that.
Yeah, exactly. So while it's certainly very possible for the tail to turn in this way, like, why would it?
You wouldn't draw it like that.
Exactly.
I'm still saying the thighs.
So, what were the results? That's what everyone's wondering, right? We went through the FanKit to find AI, surely we have AI to show for it. And yeah, actually, we got 9 images, which I'm like pretty damn sure got AI in them. By the way, if you want to see how we got to this conclusion of these images, I'm uploading a video at the exact same time as this one that shows our journey through the FanKit, and it's a real good time. I definitely recommend checking that one out. We actually found a lot of stupid stuff in there that isn't even AI related, it's just Supercell being stupid.
Why is she wearing it on the wrong arm? What the fuck?
Now, before I go through why these 9 specifically got singled out for AI, I want to preface the rest of this video by saying this. We are not agents hired by the government to sniff out AI with 120% efficiency. And calling out art for being AI is actually quite a sensitive topic. I fully acknowledge this and ask that you form your own opinions on top of taking what I have to say into consideration here. First, we got this Skeleton King image. This one's suspicious just because of all the blurred details and all the skeletons, as well as just this one skeleton foot in the background. Or at least I think it's a foot. If it's a foot, then it's missing a toe. And if it's a hand, then it's missing a thumb. It's just weird. This next one of this log smashing into a Christmas tree. Again, I think that's what's happening here. It's just way too blurry to actually see what's happening. AI using blurs to make up bad detailing has been very standard in AI image generation for a very long time. This Mega Knight banner caught my eye. Admittedly, this one doesn't do anything too bad, but the recruit's lack of fingers combined with the Mega Knight's overall just kind of dopey, I wouldn't even call it a dopey expression. There's like nothing there. It just looks weird. I don't like this banner, but it's definitely more of a personal take. Then we got the boost fields. Yeah, we've been over this one. The recruits not aligned properly. The balloon being so much higher off the ground than the minions. Like the minions are on the same height level as the battle healer. Like what's happening? Also the rascal girls are in front of the boy, which is kind of cute. Also, I'd like to take this opportunity to point out the file name in the fan kit for this one is Middle Buff Dagger Duchess. Like nothing makes sense about this image. Like please. Even if it's not AI, which I doubt, there's definitely something weird in the works here. Next up, this banner. This one is definitely the weakest argument of the 9. This one's here because of this chain right here. See the way that it merges with itself on the way down and doesn't match its shadow at all. Also, this canopy here doesn't quite line up with the wooden beams it's sitting on. Just in general, this one is weird. This snowball image caught my eye because if you peep the ground over here, it's as if it's actively being destroyed. But if you look at the snowball, it hasn't hit the ground yet. Like what's destroying this ground? It's just blowing up for no reason. This area behind the rubble also just looks a bit scuffed. Like what was the artist's intentions with this? Oh yeah, what if I draw a pile of snow, but like only kind of, and then put a fog in front of it? Like what? This Goblinstein banner is another weak link. Nothing in particular jumps out at me AI wise about this one, but just overall the random trees in the town for some reason. The mansion's angles and shape just don't really make sense even for haunted house standards. The light illuminating the doorstep despite the path to the door clearly being over here and not there. Hell, the shadow doesn't even line up with the mansion's outline. Alright, maybe this one actually isn't too much of a weak link after all. The more I look at it, the more it's fucked. Next up, the Clashmas Village banner. This Clash of Clans-esque banner is a pretty funny case. It caught my eye because this snow in the tree goes under the leaves. Last I checked, snow doesn't really work that way. Also, they have 3 town halls in their village. If you've ever played Clash of Clans, you can see why this might be an issue. And finally, we have this lovely archer banner. You know what? I'll give you 5 seconds to decipher for yourself what's wrong with this one. Please go ahead. Do you see anything? Do you see maybe the barbarian with 3 fucking arms? Historically, one of AI's greatest struggles is getting the amount of limbs on a subject correct. 6-fingered hands is one of the all-time giveaways that an image was generated with AI. Don't ask me how this one slipped past Supercell's radar. So there you have it. Clash Royale uses AI in their art, and there's my proof. Bye bye. Look, I haven't been completely transparent with y'all. After getting off the call with Liam, I did a little bit of digging. I thought maybe there actually is a barbarian character in the comics that has a 3rd arm. Like, I didn't want to just make this video and be a dickhead about it in case there actually was. So I actually bought the comic and read through to the end. And there was no barbarian character in this comic with a 3rd arm. In fact, I don't think there was a single barbarian character in the comic, period. But another thing I noticed was that the freckled archer from the banner also wasn't in the comic. So what gives? Oh my god, there are 8 novels of this shit? What? Who's buying these? I actually kind of liked the first novel low-key. I would have read the rest if they weren't 15 quid each. Hit the like button and leave a comment if you want to see a review on them though. Because finding info on these comics is a fool's errand. Like, there's a reason I didn't know about these things existing. I don't think anybody did. Getting back on track, I wasn't bothered to buy more of the novels, but I was determined to put this whole tumor barbarian thing to rest. So I did a bit of digging, and lo and behold, on the preview image of the Books of Clash Volume 2 on Amazon, boom! The exact archer image they ripped out for the banner. And if you look a bit to the side of it, boom! Tumor barbarian. But it's not a tumor, it's just the arm of a separate barbarian running behind it. Someone at Supercell is just really bad at cropping. Now I saw this and I thought, is this really a satisfying end to the tumor barbarian saga? Sure. To be honest, I'm just glad I didn't have to buy any more of the books. So I guess this knocks this banner off the AI list. But we still have 8 others, right? We still have proof that Supercell uses AI in their game. Well, for starters, I also later discovered that this image of the snowball is just an edited version of this Super Ice Golem splash art. The reason it looks weird is just because the image wasn't designed with the snowball in mind, so that's why the ground is blowing up. But, okay. 7. We have 7 pieces of evidence. Well, also no. This one of the arena, as suspicious as the chain is a very accurate representation of the arena shown in many of the other renders in the fan kit. Despite the weird canopy, it simply does too many things right for me to label it as AI in good conscience. Same with the Clashmas Village. The snow on the tree could be chalked up to a design choice, and the 3 town halls could just be a genuine mistake, since the rest of it is pretty good and up to snuff. So, 5 pieces of evidence? Yeah, 5. 4, if we take away this one, since it's pretty much just here for personal reasons, I hate this banner, I don't know what to tell you. Call it a hunch, call it what you want, but I got my eyes on you. I can pretty confidently say that I think AI had a hand in making these 4 though. And yes, I checked, these skeletons, this hog rider, this ice wizard, and even this log render don't exist outside of these images. Had any of these matched pre-existing renders, then my whole AI generated them and then blurred them to hide details argument crumbles. So, 4 of like 1000 images in the FanKit were allegedly made with the help of AI. I don't hate that, that's pretty good actually. I honestly didn't know what to expect going into this, but looking back at it, I had a lot of fun going through the FanKit, and actually found a lot more that I want to discuss in future videos, so that might be in the cards going forward. And that's about it for this video. If you enjoyed it, I definitely recommend checking out the supercut that I just uploaded. It was a lot of fun to make. Consider liking and subscribing and yada yada, but most importantly, remember, don't use AI art, or else you're gonna end up looking like this! Man, I wonder if Supercell's gonna see this. Probably not. What would I tell them if they did? Go f yourself? Nah. Give Sparky an evolution? Yeah, that would probably be it.